Good evening, welcome to Indie's News Corner. I'm your host, Indigo Diamond, here to give you all things drag race and drag related news wise that I could find to talk about today. Before we get into the news, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video, and leave me a comment. Who are you excited to see in season 15? Are you enjoying it so far? And do you have a top 4? Now, let's get into the news. So we've had 3 episodes already so far of season 15. The first being a double premiere. We had a split cast, but it all came together in one episode, which was kind of a new take on it, but it was interesting to see. So we had the first half come in, and we had a queen come in that looked like it was Vivacious with Ornacia on her head, doing the exact sort of entrance that Vivacious did back in season 6. And it turned out when the reveal happened, it was none other than this week's guest judge, Ariana Grande. That was with the first set of queens. With the second set of queens, the same thing happened. However, it was actually Vivacious that ended up being revealed the second time, which was nice. I think a lot of us wanted to see Vivacious actually there, because we've had a lot of Ornacia, but we've not really had any Vivacious come back. Now, first episode's mini challenges were photo shoots, as they tend to do on the first episodes of Drag Race. However, the 2 photo shoots were different, both essentially redoing photo shoots from previous seasons. So the first photo shoot was essentially a like for like of the season 1 photo shoot, where they had to do a photo shoot while doing a car wash. The second one was sort of an updated version of seasons 2, where in season 2 they were on a cannon and they were having their photos taken with a fan. This time they were on a motorbike with a fan, and they had leaves chucked at them. That was something. The maxi challenge for this week was a talent show. We had some successful talents, some less successful talents. The winner of the first maxi challenge was Anitra, who lip synced to a song and chopped wood with her hand, breaking wood with her hands and her legs, and that very entertaining. I have not been able to say better walk that fucking duck ever since, which is probably not something I should be saying around the office, but it's going through my head just constantly at this point. Our bottom 2 queens for the week were Amethyst and Irene Dubois. Now, Amethyst had a good concept. I very much appreciated that. She did a lip sync to, what's the song called? Has it Been Around the World? Which is going on about how she can't find her baby. So she was dressed sort of like a backpacker, but the baby was on her back. And so the first time she turned around, we saw the baby, and it happened a lot throughout it. Again, one of those things, I think if you had seen it in a club, it would have been very entertaining. I have no doubt I would have very much enjoyed watching that. But because we're literally just watching that, we're not kind of like every so often looking and then like doing something else, it needed more. So I can understand why Amethyst landed in the bottom. Irene Dubois was making ice water, the joke being the fact that it's literally water that you put ice in. Now, she did mention after the critiques that usually it's a lot longer, and she thinks that she had taken out the wrong bits when she tried to shorten it down. Very likely, I can imagine if done correctly, or like had the long version been able to be done, it would have been a lot funnier than it was. Unfortunately, the only joke she really had was when she was trying to pick up the ice cubes and her nails were too long, so she couldn't grab them. So these 2 ended up in the bottom, and they had to do a lip sync to 7 Rings by Ariana Grande in front of Ariana Grande. Now, I will say it was quite a lackluster lip sync. However, I think it's not the easiest song to do a lip sync to. As much as Amethyst knew all the words, there was just I don't know, it just felt like it was missing something. It definitely wasn't as good as the lip sync to that on Secret Celebrity Drag Race Season 2. But on that season, it was one queen by herself on the stage and she had backup dancers, so, you know, swings and roundabouts. They both lip sync, and the winner of the lip sync is Amethyst. Amethyst gets to stay for another week, but we do unfortunately have to say goodbye to Irene Dubois. Now, it's difficult because we've got 16 queens this season, which is the most queens we have ever had. And the last couple of seasons, they have been kind of like not getting rid of anyone right at the beginning, and then like episode 3, they finally get rid of someone. It's difficult. I mean, Irene has had essentially 2 episodes because of the fact that they did the sort of like split premiere thing in the first episode, and then like the second episode was them sort of doing the talent show. So maybe that's why they were kind of like, we're just gonna get rid of someone this episode, have to go. So unfortunately, we have had to say goodbye to Irene Dubois very quickly. But she made it on Drag Race. She'll probably appear at some point in the future, I have no doubt. Moving on to what is technically episode 3, but it felt like episode 2 because of how episode 1 was done. The queens had to make infomercials for the queer after, so the afterlife. Now, Anitra, being the winner of last week's challenge, got to be a team captain. Amethyst, as the winner of the lip sync, got to be another team captain. Anitra got to pick her team first, and then Amethyst got to pick her team next. I like the fact that they didn't do what they usually do. It's kind of like, you know, bounce between the two. Oh, you pick one, you pick one. And then the last group was just the leftovers. Now, the thing that I found interesting this week with this episode was the fact that the twins got split up. So we've got a pair of twins from TikTok drag queens that have made it onto this season, and they have kind of been underestimated a lot so far by the other queens because they are just social media queens. But, you know, they do videos, they entertain still, it's just they do it on TikTok rather than like in a club. But you could tell the queen that got put in the leftover group, so the queen that out of the twins that didn't get picked, she was having a time of it this episode, I swear. So she was trying to come up with ideas, lots of ideas, and everyone else in her group just dismissed her. They were like, no, no, don't want to know. You sit there, we'll come up with something. And it's like, she's like good on TikTok. This is the sort of challenge that you want to be paying attention to her. And yet that team didn't do very well. I would say Sugar was the probably best out of the bunch and really kind of pulled something out of it. But the standout for this week's Maxi Challenge was definitely Sasha Colby, who in her group played God, and the way she teleported around was by snapping her neck. There was at one point where I was starting to think it was maybe getting a bit old, and then she pulled out everyone's favourite Jada Essence Hall quote of, "Look over there!" and then snapped her neck again. Definitely the right time for her to have done that. I very much appreciated it. Very happy to see Sasha Colby get a win. She's the one that sort of like everyone knew coming into it, and everyone was kind of like, oh, she is going to be fierce competition. Now, I would like to put an honourable mention in here for Lucy LaDuca, who did a very impressive Dolly Parton impression. I will say I did very much enjoy the voice that she had for Dolly, but it didn't help that the rest of that group just not quite sure what was going on with their infomercial. But Dolly was funny. Now, the bottom 2 for this week were Princess Poppy and Amethyst. Yes, Amethyst has double dipped in the bottom in the first 2 episodes. Now, the song they had to lip sync to was Ain't No Mountain High Enough by Diana Ross. Poppy was essentially in just a bodysuit, and Amethyst had a lovely big long flowing coat. Anyone that knows Diana Ross knows that, you know, flowing movements are essentially what she's very well known for. So I was sat here and going, unless Amethyst does badly in this lip sync, I think she's going to stay. She did use the coat a decent amount in the first bit, but then she kind of like took the coat off in the second bit, and I was like, okay, it's like I would have kept the coat on and kept going with the flowiness of the coat, but hey, you're the one lip syncing. Princess Poppy went a different route. So Princess Poppy was very energetic and goofy, and at the one point she went right to the back of the stage onto the two sides where all the other queens were, and it was acting like it was like a meet and greet or something. And you know, there are many songs where comedy is the way to go. A Diana Ross song in front of RuPaul is not that. You know, Diana Ross is like RuPaul's favourite singer. You should be nervous doing a Diana Ross lip sync in front of RuPaul. And I wouldn't do it. I just would not, you know, go comedic. I just wouldn't. And apparently, RuPaul agrees because Princess Poppy was the second person to sashay away. So, clearly, the rule is if you're doing a Diana Ross song, do not do comedy. Now, that is all in the wake of Drag Race. However, we do have some music news this week. So, Kendall Jenner, Cynthia Kiss, and Geometric from Canada's Drag Race Season 2, who on their season referred to themselves as the Brat Pack, have actually formed a group called Brat Pack and have released a song called Shine, which is now available for streaming. I get all my music off Spotify and I know it's there, so I'm looking forward to listening to that song and showing my support for the Queens by listening to their music. That is all the news I have today. However, now I would like to pass it over to Jessica with the weather. What do you mean I'm on? What do you mean? I thought we weren't doing weather this week. Guys, no one told me. I've been on lunch. No one told me we were doing weather. Um, Hi, guys. Jessica here with the weather. It's. I don't even have the thing. It's. What's the weather? Oh, it's sunny outside. Back to you, Indigo. And yes, that was Jessica. Now, as you guys know, we don't actually have weather, but you know, this is going to be a thing moving forward. You know, she is a strange one, and we like to keep her on her toes. But that is all from me today. I am Indigo Diamond, and I will see you lovely people next time. Bye!